When you move abroad, your life doesn't fall apart dramatically. It breaks quietly. Your cards decline, your phone stops receiving verification messages, and your bank flags your account as fraud. And suddenly, you can't access your money in a foreign country. I have lived in 3 countries, Canada, China, and now Albania. And this has happened to me, even though I thought I was prepared. Most people think that moving abroad is about visas and apartments. But the real problem comes from invisible systems that you don't even think about until they fail. Today, I'm going to show you the exact systems that break when you move abroad: banking, phone numbers, credit, subscriptions, and most importantly, the setup to avoid these disasters. Because if you don't fix this before you move, your first month isn't going to feel like freedom. It'll feel like fighting banks at 3 a.m. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. So the first one, banking. Why it actually happens. Your bank account doesn't close when you move abroad. Your apps still work, your balance looks fine, everything seems normal. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. Banks have fraud detection systems that watch for unusual activity. When they see logins from new countries, unfamiliar banking patterns, or international transfers, flags go up. The result? Your card freezes at the worst possible moment. Transfers get delayed or blocked. Customer support slows down because you're calling from overseas. And you're stuck trying to prove that you're really you while being thousands of miles away. This isn't a maybe. This happens to almost everyone if they don't prepare. So one thing that I do when I want to call home and I need to deal with the banks to save money is I downloaded the Alexa app on my phone, and then I still use that because it works on Wi-Fi. And then I can call anywhere in Canada, so I can call my banks. If you have an American account, I'm sure you can call throughout the States as well, so you can keep in touch with your bank without paying long distance fees. So here's a system that works. You need 3 types of accounts that work together. Account number 1, your home account. Don't close your bank account at home when you move, keep it. This is your safety net and your connection to back home. I've personally used my Canadian bank accounts while living overseas. From China to Albania to pay bills, paid subscriptions, and credit cards. It works as long as your bank is okay with international logins. Home country bank accounts are highly respected internationally, and they even allow you to continue to pay your bills while you're in a foreign country. Now for Americans, you can open up a Charles Schwab account. It's the best for Americans living abroad. Why, you might ask? Because there's no foreign transaction fees, unlimited ATM reimbursements, and it doesn't care where you are. You can withdraw money from anywhere, and then Charles Schwab will then refund the fees at the end of the month. And Americans don't get penalized for maintaining a US account abroad. You can keep them active without any issues as long as you file your taxes properly. Now for Canadians, we don't have access to Charles Schwab. So for us, you want to keep 1 Canadian bank account minimally active. Now, what I recommend is Simply Financial. I deal with PC Financial and they're a nightmare because a lot of things don't connect to them, but I noticed Simply Financial does. And the reason why I recommend them is because when I was in China, I maintained my TD account, and every month I was deducted that minimal fee for keeping my account open. And after being there for 7 years, I should have closed it a lot sooner. So Simply Financial, you can maintain your account and you're not paying that monthly fee. So you still have access, you can still connect it because it goes through CIBC, I believe. So you get to have your bank account without the minimum monthly fee. Highly advise that you open that one before you move. And you should have a bank account back home, even if it's just tax documents, identification. A lot of government websites verify through your bank account, and that's why PC Financial frustrates me because it's not connected to that. Simply is though. Emergency transfers from family if you need it, or if you ever move back, you still have your bank account. Now, just a little note with that though, if you are looking to leave the Canadian tax system entirely, there are limits to what you can keep active. But for most people moving abroad temporarily, keeping accounts open is fine. Now, your second account will be your local account. So for me, it's here in Albania. This is going to be the account that you're going to use every day. Your rent, your bills, shopping, going out, your normal day-to-day account while in that new country. And you're gonna want that account because going through your international account all the time is going to get expensive. You'll get hit with conversion fees, transaction fees, and some landlords and utility companies won't accept foreign transactions. Open this as soon as you arrive and you have the necessary documents. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just needs to work. So the things that you're gonna need are proof of residency, proof of address, residency, your passport, and employment info, tax info. Now, in Albania, some banks that come highly recommended are Union Bank. We've dealt with Intesa Sao Paulo Bank. They were phenomenal. Credence Bank is a nightmare. I need to open an account there. I'm still trying to get an account open there. So account number 3, Wise. So Wise is not a bank account. It's a multi-currency platform that allows you to move money from one account to the other account. And it bridges that communication. And so what it does is it allows you to move money at the current exchange rates with minimal fees. Lets you hold multiple accounts under your one account. And the best part, it works for both Americans and Canadians. So I use Wise to move money from my Canadian account to my Albanian account. So basically how that works is when we first moved here, it was great to move money to pay our rent, buy groceries, that kind of thing. So we got to move it over here. And then now that we're earning our salary over here, we're able to then transfer money back, keep our Disney Plus account and our Netflix account alive, and still be able to make our credit card payments. It's simple, fast, and avoids any unnecessary conversions and block payments. All right, number 4, phones and two-factor identification. Now this is one that we struggled with twice. You would think I would have learned after the first time, but no, it's really one of those things that you don't really think about until afterwards and you're like, oh no. So, you probably don't think of your phone as a critical infrastructure, but it is. Apps use it for two-factor identifications, password resets, and security alerts. So when you move abroad and you change your phone numbers, things break. SMS codes don't arrive, apps lock you out, and you can't reset your password because your password is now going to a number that you no longer have. Ask me how I know that. Okay, and I've also seen other people locked out for days because of this. Now, you do need a number for everyday life when you move abroad, right? Calling around, apartment hunting. It's a lot better to contact somebody, a potential landlord, from a local number than your, overseas number, signing up for new membership cards, that kind of thing. So you do want to get a local SIM as soon as you arrive. But what I suggest is keep your home country number active for 1 to 2 weeks after you arrive. Don't have it canceled right before you leave. You're going to need access to those phone numbers. This gives you time to update your local two-factor identifications to your new number and still have access to any SMS while you're doing that if you need to. So once you have your new number, go through all your important accounts, banking, email, cloud storage, government services, and switch the number from your old phone number to your new one. After everything's switched over, you can let your old phone number go. You don't need to pay for it anymore. Now, the two-factor identification is great for security, but SMS-based two-factor identification breaks when you're moving abroad. So another thing you can do is switch to an authenticator app. They work anywhere in the world because what they do is they generate a code on your phone. No SMS required. Your best options are Google Authenticator, it's simple, reliable. Authy backs up to a cloud, and then Microsoft Authenticator, especially if you're using Microsoft products. So you can go through your important accounts, again, the banking, everything, and just switch them over to that. If you can't keep your cell phone number from back home and you don't want to do two-factor, authenticator app, your third option would be to, if you have a trusted friend, but you have to really trust them because you're going to be giving them access to everything. So that's your third option. Next up would be identity and credit reset. This is something I dealt with when I came back from China. And I don't think a lot of people know about it. So a couple things here is, number one, credit scores don't travel with you when you go abroad. And this actually surprises some people. You'd think your credit history follows you around, but it doesn't. It's country specific. When you move abroad, banks and landlords can't see your credit history from back home. You're starting over from scratch. And here's something, Canadians, you need to know. If you don't use your credit for 7 years, okay, so if you move abroad and you stop using credit card payments, I use Visa debit, so it was coming out of my bank account, right? So I thought, okay, yeah, I still have my credit card. Everything's fine, but it's through the credit card or through the bank account, which means it's not getting reported monthly on my credit report. And because I don't have a phone or any services in Canada, and my debit card is, my Visa's a debit, nothing's getting reported to the credit agency. And what happens is after 7 years, your entire credit profile goes neutral. Everything disappears, the good and the bad. So what happened was I came back after 7 years of living in China and I had no credit. And sometimes no credit is worse than bad credit because it looks like nobody trusts you. Why don't anybody trust you? You're a 40-year-old. How have you never had credit before? No credit, no loans, no history, nothing. You're not in the system. Summer and I had the same credit. You want to rent an apartment? Landlords see nothing. You want to buy a car? Car dealerships see nothing. Banks see nothing. And that meant that when I got my van, I was paying through the nose. So living in Canada is hard enough, but when you're paying 3 times the amount of everybody else because you can't prove you're trustworthy. It took about 2 years. Like right before we left, my car payments finally dropped because I started having some credit history and I had to refinance it to get a better rate. But still, that's a lot when you move back home. So, and the 7-year rule exists because credit bureaus delete inactive data. They figure if you haven't earned credit in 7 years, you either left permanently or you died. Now, for Americans, you have it a little bit easier. Your credit activity stays active even when you move abroad. Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, I think is the third one. They keep your file active indefinitely. But you're not immune to problems. Foreign transactions can still trigger fraud alerts. And if you close all your accounts when you move abroad, your credit rating tanks because there's no activity on there, because you have no active credit. So what you want to do is you want to maintain a credit card, right? And then you just keep your subscriptions on there, keep something active, make your minimum payment, and just keep it going that way. So if you ever go back abroad or when you go back home, you've maintained your credit while you're gone and you were abroad. Moving abroad creates identity verification problems that you wouldn't think to expect. Services rely on your home country ID to verify who you are. Change countries and suddenly you can't pass verification. So examples where this breaks: opening new bank accounts, banks, brokerages, crypto exchanges, resetting passwords on important accounts, signing up for services that require government-issued photo ID, verifying your identity for customer support, applying for credits or loans. So how you want to solve this is keep digital copies of everything. Passport, your identity and visa pages, driver's license, birth certificate, social insurance, or social security, any national ID cards, proof of address from your home country, so utility bill, statements, that kind of thing. So store them in an encrypted cloud so you have access to them if you need them. For my monthly Patreon subscribers, I will have this list ready for you guys and you can just download the checklist. And look, even if people tell you that you shouldn't keep a home account or that it's too complicated, having options is powerful. It keeps your life flexible and reduces stress while living abroad. I've done this across multiple countries and it works. And that's it. If you found this helpful, please share it with other people who are looking to move abroad. And if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. We'll see you next week.